Hi YouTube, welcome back to my channel. Today we're gonna talk about how to reconnect with your inner child. So, as I said in my previous videos, we were and we are supposed to be mystical beings. Mystical beings means that we connect with source and we express and we experiment life. The system that we have been through, so the school system and just the family beliefs that we have been exposed during our whole life, influenced a lot this inner child. Some people completely forgot about what they were before all this manipulation happens. So we go on in life and we conduct our grown-up life. So we have our duty, we go to work and we have responsibilities, and society trained us to keep our attention busy with stuff that doesn't really matter. They did it on purpose, because if we stopped and tried to think more deeply about ourselves, about who we are, what we used to like, we would develop our divine part. And what happened is that our mind, especially when we get over worried and we become overthinker, this is the way in which society completely fucked us up. We keep using different tools to numb ourselves. Can be drugs, or can be like addictive behavior, can be shopping, can be sexuality. Many people get in those addictive things that are actually there to prevent you from go deeper. And could be anything. I mean, there is no one color, there is no one shape. People can be addicted to TV, can be addicted to shopping, can be addicted to substances, alcohol, bad way of eating, toxic relationships, feeling always needy and constantly think that your happiness or your centered and balanced come from other people, or the control of other situations around you. And what is my spirit guides and my angels are telling me is that we need to close a door to this reality often. What I mean is taking some time to consider yourself without any external input. By doing this, you realize what you do with your time, and it's a journey on discovering yourself again and reconnecting with the inner child. If you don't have responsibility, if you don't have a society, let's say you don't have a family, let's say that for a second you consider only yourself, what do you do with your free time? And why are you doing the things that you do in your free time? And what spirits want us to do instead is to really understand what makes you happy, what gives you that life force. And when we feel so far away from our inner child, we feel lost, because immediately, really, since the beginning. When is the age that we go to school? It's like really, I don't know. No, I don't even know. 3 years old, 4 years old, 5 years old. Anyway, so the child is the manifestation of spirit itself. Like, the child has not been modified by society, so whatever they do come from innocent and come from real ego, that healthy ego. The child just want to explore, the child just want to learn, the child just want to have fun, the child want just to experiment. And when they put us into school and when they plug us in this society matrix, we get bound to rules, things, and this traumatized a lot our inner child, because before we were in this magical world in which they were exploring and playing and having fun, and it's the period in which actually we should learn how to handle emotions, and instead they bound us to rules, timetable to go, and they sit us in square table, and they sit us there, and they give us a book, and they start to give us instruction to a free spirit. Our genetics is really similar to monkeys. I think the difference is like 1% or no, I'm not a scientist, so I received this knowledge from in other ways, so I'm not really technical, but what I know is that our genetics is really similar to monkeys. Now, if you want to try to put a monkey in a square table, sitting there and give her pen and paper and listening, I'm not sure that the monkey will tolerate well this way of learning. And society knew that. That's why they did it, because since the beginning, since the moment, that we are receiving our imprinting, they make sure that the imprinting was already an imprinting of submissions. So we have to follow rules, and we get treated all in the same way, even though we have different ability, we have different peculiarity. So by doing that, we kind of become beautiful slaves, because we don't want to disappoint, we don't want to be labeled as bad kids, so we tend to get shaped by this system and wanted to be good and go in the way that they taught us to go. That's why many kids are like hyperactive, for example, and they have trouble learning. And what society does is labeling them. Oh, this kid has hyperactive behavior, or I don't know, in England and in America there are a lot of labels. Like, thank God in some European part of the world it's not like this, but in here I meet childs and teenager, and they tell me, oh yes, I am OCD, I am this, I'm that, and I'm like, well, who told you that? Who told you all these labels? Like, Mother Nature, like, this is not how it's supposed to be. If you have a specific behavior, there is a reason behind it. It's not that by labeling it we're gonna fix it. And what they do is, even in students, they give them like pills to tranquilize them, or just whatever. This is insane. The child is manifesting a problem, and is the environment that has to adapt to them, not the opposite. It's not the child that has to adapt to the system if the way of teaching is not resonating with this child. So, for example, children that has a high libido, or children that are hyperactive, or they are a little bit aggressive, instead to understand that there is a lot of potential there that children are not able to channel in the right activity, and get rid of it, get rid of this hyperactive energy, or teaching them how to sublimate or shift this libido, and many other different like peculiarities. Some kids show up when they're little. They want to sedate us, and they want to tell us that there's something wrong with us, and give us this label, which since the beginning fucked up our brain. So we start to think immediately there's something wrong with us, and and we start to feel frustrated, and we go, and many children develops like unhealthy behavior, you know, almost they become full of rage, hysterical, they develop tics, eczema, and that is all manifestation of a frustration. So when we go through the school system, though, there are many years, so we get shaped into a way of thinking in a quite brutal way. And when we grow up later on, when the school is finished and we find our job, and we go to this job, and you know, we have been stopped from developing our passions, our abilities, our peculiarity from bloody 50-20 years. So some people, they burst in the spiritual crisis because it's like putting a pause. It's like a plant, no? You put a seed, it's growing, the plant is coming out, and instead of having the freedom of developing how in hell they want, with different type of guidance, like you know, the plant will be able to grow up according to specific circumstances. For example, how in depth the roots go, the more the plants will be able to stretch out. So the experiences, how we handle our emotion, anyway, instead of developing in a correct way, this plant come out, and then it finds shapes, like a square shapes, and the plants start to grow in this square shape, and at some point it's like, oh fuck, I'm frustrated, I'm ill, I can't see the sunshine. And is, of course you cannot see the sunshine, because they kept away the sunshine from your life. So connecting with the inner child, it's trying to take the time in your life to be the psychologist of yourself, remembering all those things that trigger your life, and put a pause on it 1 second. They still exist, the trauma are still here, they still affect us, but the ability of connecting with your inner child really is to understand what that child used to like. And it's quite a journey, and people takes like maybe months to realize what they were. Did you like to sing? Did you like to dance? Did you like to laugh? Did you like to make other people laugh? Were you creative? Were you painting? Were you interested in nature, animals, space, alchemy, science, metals, rocks, history, storyteller? Were you a poet? Did you like to I don't know, paint faces, whatever. What I'm saying is that connecting with the inner child, really, it means going back to the origin, going back, connecting one moment to that energy, because we can remember it. I can remember myself before all these brainwashing things. I mean, I was always awake, but still, because it's your mind against a brainwashed society, even if I was awake, was difficult for me not to get shaped, not to get manipulated in these wrong beliefs that killed my light for so long. So just allow that inner child to be. Take some times in a week just to devote 1 hour to reconnecting to your inner child. The things that you liked to do, the music that you like to listen, dancing crazy around the house, feeling blessed with what you have, because a child as well teaches um, the acceptance, in a sense, of the circumstances that the child find themselves in, because you cannot change when you're a child. You don't have the ability to change the situation that you are in, and children still manage to find this imaginary world to escape in, this play mood to escape him, which to escape it, to escape reality. Another connection that I find a lot is with like nerdy people, or people that likes video games. I was always very curious about them, because I could see that they were looking for magic, they were looking for possibilities, they were looking for the extraordinary. And because society killed this concept, they taught us that is everything ordinary, is everything material, is everything provable, science, mathematical and logical. These people, these children, turned into fantasy books, or they turn into video games, and they almost got caught up in it, because the reality in which they are in, they don't like it, and they know that they are magicians, they know that they are alchemists, but it's a calling from the soul that the mind cannot rationalize. So they go and they become obsessed with video games, and they think that that is the only way that they can sense magic, they can sense power, they can sense extraordinary experiences. And in reality, God and Spirit are telling you that you can do this also in reality. And you must. You must, because if you have a calling for magic, you have a calling for dragon and fantasy and powers and different layer of reality, this is a sign from the universe that you can manifest these things in your reality. I'm thinking to do some, I don't know if you need some guidance to go into this state, but it's pretty much simple, because it's very similar on the video that I talked about, sacred space or trance moment. Is the same, is dropping on the floor and let your body just go, for feeling what it feels good in that moment, and connecting again with what was your passion, what was your peculiarity. And when you find them, reconnecting with your inner child, you have good material to work on what you want to express, to find that divinity through the passion of your inner child, and being able to have the maturity though, and the energy and this right step to actualize it in this world and manifest it. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you have any question, let me know, and see you next time.